Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is part 2 of this video. And if you didn't watch the first one, you might be a little confused. But I stated that this is a pretty easy fix with the exception of this right here. These holes for stitching, I guess, are terrible. Somebody didn't do a very good job designing this. So let's 0.001, and I'm going to just nudge this thing over. And that's all I really did, and you can't even get it perfect. And my nudge is 0.0. Something's in her configuration won't let me put in the other numbers. But I'm going to put in 0. And then you can move this over so minutely that you can get right on top of it. Then go from outside this circle so you won't grab the circle, and do like we did before and combine it. Then go down here and double click on your outline pen, turn it to a hairline and turn it to red. And voila, you've got a good cut shape. Now, for the person I'm doing this for, this is not symmetrical. I'm going to back up here a couple steps and get it back to black. These lines or these holes were not designed perfectly. I thought I did something wrong, and if you go from that node to right there, you get 0.17 of an inch. And down here with the virtual segment delete key, let me zoom in a little bit. So the way I'm going to do it isn't perfect. See, this is 15.15 of an inch, and the other one's 0.17. So they're off. I don't see how the way I'm going to do it is going to affect you, because I don't think that's going to be stitched to anything besides. But anyway, so instead of selecting all these and changing them all to hairlines, what I did, I went ahead and did the top one, and I'm going to move it over. I'm going to change my nudge distance to 1 inch, and I'm going to select it. I'm going to move it over 1 inch. I'm going to select the bottom one, and I'm going to move it over 1 inch. I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to go to Effects, Blend, and we have 31 of them. There's 31 holes, but we already have 2, so we only need 29. And hit Apply, and that quickly it drew those holes. Now I'm going to show you why it's not. So then select them all again and move it over that 1 inch. They're not dead on because of the fact that, and there must be I must have missed one, or is there not a red one there? Yep, see there's a red one behind there. So that one's dead on. This one starts creeping up. So their design isn't perfect. And I'm not saying it has to be perfect with these stitches, but let's grab our red ones again. And what you're going to have to do, tell you what, I'm just going to back up here. So that's all our red ones. Take your pick tool and select all these and hit delete. And then select all your red ones and hit left arrow key to put them right back where they were. Now you can do a number of things here. You could measure the distance off this line and do these, but it'd really be so easy to repair them, and then you know they're exactly where they're at. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm going to just do it real quick. So this one's really off on like both parameters. So I don't know which one even to move. You know, that's going to be hard to say. So let's do this. Let's figure out which way to move it. Let's select these two and turn them into a hairline immediately. That way we'll get a more precise measurement. Okay, and now we'll measure from this line to that line. Parallel dimension tool, and let's go from the in the middle where it says edge, keeping it straight to that edge right there, and we're at 0.10. Now let's go on to this side. And if you're never going to do this, you could probably just quit watching now it is a good lesson in how things work. Okay, so we're 0.10 on both sides. So we actually need to correct that one. Let me just get rid of this parallel dimension tool. We need to move this one over. So let's take that and actually hold down the shift key and select both of them. Whoop, I still had my nudge distance set on 1 inch. Let's change our nudge distance to, well, see when you're clicked on something, it won't show up. I'm going to just type in 0. It's unbelievable the nudge factor will nudge at 0, but it does really minutely. Hold down the shift key and grab those both and just nudge it over to get it right there. Go outside that red line, go up to range and combine. You want to make sure you do this because then you won't have to do it to each one of them and they'll cut out of circles. So the same thing here. Let's zoom in here. Let's turn them. And if you see I'm coming off the page, because sometimes if you try to select inside the page, you're going to get the page or get this red swipe. So let's, starting off the page, let's turn these into hairlines, and I'm almost done, I promise you. Now, our nudge distance should be still real low. Hold down the shift key, because if you don't do this, it'd be a terrible cut. But if you don't do this, it's going to cut like 4 different lines. So go to range and combine. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to change our nudge distance to 1 inch. We're going to grab that one and nudge it over. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll nudge it over 3 inches. It doesn't matter how many times you nudge. Let's select them all. We've still got the blend open, 29 of them. Hit apply. Now I would go ahead and zoom in here, and I'm sorry if this is kind of hard to see. It's a little bitty stitches. Grab all these black ones and just go ahead and delete them. Then select all the middle group will stay together because it's the blend. Well, matter of fact, the whole thing stays together. Now 1, 2, 3 inches back, and you're done with that. Now I'm not going to make a video for it. These aren't perfect either. Now these are going to be a little bit harder to do, and this would be a fun project. I might make a video on that because I'm thinking that gets sewn into this. I don't know. But anyway, I hope that helped her a little bit, and thank you for watching.